are hundreds of religions all over the world. For most, going to a house of worship and praying is a normal part of life. But some have abandoned common practices and entered into the bizarre. In Brazil, the ancient religion of Candomblé focuses on the land, animal sacrifice, and conjuring higher spirits. These spirits, known as Orishas, rule over their followers and the earth. Respect for the earth is respect for the Orishas.
It's an open thing. It's a beautiful thing. It's about nature. It's about nature.
One of the fundamental reasons for the existence of Candomblé as a religion is to give people a way of making sense out of their life and to connect to the divine.
It is in this passion for nature that Sabrina Glenhill found something to believe in.
I became interested in Candomblé because I think I've always been interested in finding a religion that really had something to do with me. Many people are beginning to see ancient religions as something very fresh and new and relevant to them.
Speaking in their native tongue, Sabrina received guidance from the high priestess for her problems.
It's been a long time since I've gone to a temple, and I feel that I have left many things undone. I must do them, and I would like you to see what I have to do to please my Orishas.
May Lucia is able to speak with the gods of Candomblé to give Sabrina the answers she's looking for.
Open the roads. Ocean, as you should know, is the mother Orisha. Mother already says it all. Mother is a word that needs no definition. But mother is the one that punishes children, that gives children discipline. Mother is the one who says how we should live. If not, we wouldn't all have a mother to guide us.
But in Candomblé, communication through a high priestess is not enough. Sabrina must speak to a spirit directly. This will take place at a ceremony where she will conjure her Orisha.
The ultimate expression of divinity in man's connection to the divine is in spirit possession, where in a ceremony, in a ritual, a divine being, a god, a saint, an ancestor, literally comes and possesses the body of the worshiper.
It's an experience like levitation. Understand? When the Orisha takes over the body, then the Orisha possesses us. It's as if we were sleeping. We don't recognize what is going on because he takes over our body.
Sabrina attends the ritual, seeking a meaning to the damaging issues in her life.
I already had a feeling, sort of a premonition, that my Orisha would manifest itself. And I know very well that if my Orisha were to appear, it would be asked very nicely to go away.
As the ceremony begins, Candomblé priestesses seem to be taken over by something not of this world. They become possessed. It's not long before Sabrina becomes part of the ritual. Her body appears to be consumed by her Orisha. In this state, she searches for solutions. After this exhausting experience, Sabrina claims she sees more clearly. The spirit possession has given her life a new direction.
Someone told me that I had to take care of my mother, meaning my Orisha. And I realized that that was a message perhaps that I had gone there to receive, that I had been neglecting my Orisha and that I needed to start taking care of her again.
The occult practice of spirit possession is an essential part of Candomblé. Could this mysterious ritual actually be guiding followers to a better life? For believers like Sabrina, it does just that. Cat Island, the Bahamas. Here, there is a set of beliefs that rule over the islands. It's a religion known as Obeah, and it's based on witch-like magic and curses. Frances Armbruster has lived here for 20 years. And during that time, her house has caught fire twice. Locals refuse to enter her store, convinced that an Obeah curse has been placed.
They were standing in front of the store and the air was just thick. I knew something was wrong. And I said, "What's the matter with you people?" And finally Agnes piped up and said, "Somebody put an Obeah in your store." I went in the store and I looked in the drawer, and there was a Bahamian bill and a US bill, dollar bill, and a rear end of a dead rat with blood and guts and everything.
Searching for an answer, Frances turned to Mildred, an employee of hers and a follower of Obeah.
And I went to Mildred. Now, Mildred was my cook, and supposedly one of the biggest witches on the island, but she never would admit it. And she said, you take this object out of the drawer, and you make a cross all the way across the drawer with a thick layer of salt, and then pour kerosene or gasoline over it, and then take it down to the beach, put it in the water, and set it on fire. And if it floats away and the smoke goes out to sea, you're safe. If it comes back onto the bay, you're in trouble.
Mildred passed away shortly after this incident, but it was in death that her Obeah powers seemed to be revealed.
As Mildred died this night, we was in the kitchen cooking, I and my daughter, Beth, sitting side by side.
There was a pot on the stove, and she had a big heavy lid on it, and that all of a sudden it lifted itself off the stove and came flying across the room straight at her head.
And my daughter only had to dodge her head and mark the sign of the cross in her face, and the platter fall on the ground to her feet. Now I and her get scared, and we run out of the kitchen because we know then it was Mildred.
The practice of Obeah was brought over from Africa and spread across the Caribbean.
Wherever they came, they brought their own religious ideas, like the old African religion or voodoo. And they also found different circumstances, and so they adapted their African religious ideas to those different circumstances.
Believers in Obeah make unusual concoctions. One of them involves putting everything from dirt to urine in a bottle and hanging it from a tree. This is said to protect residents' property from thieves.
They see a bottle in the tree, they know you have something in that bottle. And if they pick the fruit and eat it while that bottle there, the belly gets swelled and they'll die.
The Obeah religion seems to have an ominous power over its followers. And those who are loyal believe this power can protect them.
African religions don't worship the dark forces, but they do know that the dark forces exist, and they recognize that there are people within the religious culture that know how to use these dark forces.